All right. Hello, hello. And a particular hello to our book community and our favorite readers. Thanks so much for spending some time with the Charlesbridge sales and marketing team this afternoon and joining our conversation. I'm Meg Bensimini-Quinn, and I'm joined by my colleagues Jaleesa Barwell and Lindsay Atkins. Lindsay and Jaleesa. I'm going to get that right. Say hi. I'm going to say hello one more time as I believe we just went live twice. So anyway, if you didn't hear my first hello, hi again, and thank you for joining us. We're excited to have myself, Jaleesa, and Lindsay chat about our summer list and have Donna and Rachel in the chat as we take a look at our summer 2025 offerings. And in celebration of Teacher Appreciation Week, I'm also really excited to remind you all that author Valerie Bowling of our forthcoming Flee for Justice will be joining us in just a bit. So hold on, stay tuned. Now, as we are chatting live today, we'd love to hear from you. Please feel free to drop your thoughts, comments, and questions into the comment section and join the conversation. With that said, Rachel, when you're ready, if you can put up the notes on our giveaways this season, and so I can go ahead and remind people what they're playing for here. All right, here's our giveaway. 3 random winners will be selected at the end of our preview today. All you have to do is answer the section questions for a chance to win. Winners will be able to select 3 prizes from our summer 2025 list as their prize. And so we're going to ask a favor here to help make sure that we get the right things to the right winners. Please take a moment to edit your display name to match the name for which you registered in case you're a winner, so we know where to email or call you at. Again, please edit your display name to match the name with which you registered to join us today. All right. With that said, shall we get to some books, ladies? You're ready. All right. I'm going to take this first one, if that's okay, and I'm going to talk about The Littlest Readers. I'm pleased to share our newest board books and prep you with our first giveaway question, which is, what's your favorite board book about new experiences? One more time, that's what's your favorite board book about new experiences? Feel free to let us know in the chat. All right, let's get started. First up is our newest Chicken Soup for the Soul's Babies offering, with the perfect read for toddlers starting preschool and experiencing changes and transitions. In No School for Me, change is hard. It's the first day of preschool, which means new shoes, an unfamiliar place, and new classmates. Little Turtle does not want to go. But once in school, Little Turtle realizes that while a lot can feel different and new, some things might be the same. School isn't so bad after all, and Little Turtle can't wait to come back. Now, like the rest of the series, No School for Me, Change is Hard contains a note for grown-ups with further tips about the lesson at hand, while also helping teach manners and confidence. All right, and then adding to our board book fun this summer is the latest adventure in our Leo Can series, Leo at the Farmer's Market, coming out May 13th, so next week. Leo and Mommy enjoy a busy day shopping at the local Saturday market. They visit the colorful stands and greet each and every vendor. They smell Mr. Adams' spices, taste honey buns made by Mommy's friend Zora, and try Miss Faye's body butter. When it's time to leave, Mommy's shopping bag is very heavy. Fun fact, Leo is indeed the Lola of Lola at the Library's little brother, with both series modeling great parenting, offering developmentally and age-appropriate content, and featuring a family of color. The newest adventure will have special appeal for city-loving and city-dwelling families who will be all too familiar with their standing weekend street and farmers markets. The Funny and Fun Who's That series is continuing to roll along and board with Whose Egg Is That this summer. This nonfiction guessing game by accomplished Smithsonian mammologist Darren Lundy explores the connection between an animal, its eggs, and its habitats, and comes complete with age-appropriate clues. It also features a wide variety of species from all around the world, including the killdeer, platypus, emperor penguin, and leatherback turtle, and even includes back matter of sorts for a board book that shares more complex excellent facts about egg layers around the world. Y'all see what I did there? All right. Last, but certainly not least for our pre-readers, I'm pleased to share what we are now officially adding a board book of our staff favorite, The Froggies Do Not Want to Sleep, Charlesbridge's board book lineup. Complete with a die-cut cover, This repeat read ready board book offers a different kind of bedtime story with a zany, imaginative adventure to send your little froggies off to dreamland. Not since David Wiesner's Tuesday have frogs had so much fun. These fun froggies ask seemingly simple questions. Why go to bed when you can play the accordion, dance underwater ballet, and hold burping contests with strange alien life forms? For every kid who ever came up with an outlandish excuse for why it can't be bedtime yet, these froggies' antics will delight and entertain, and parents will appreciate that this amphibious romp proves there's more than one way to do bedtime. All right, one last time before I hand the baton over. For our littlest readers, the giveaway question is, what's your favorite board book about new experiences? Please let us know in the chat.
All right, so for Animals in Nature, our giveaway question is, how do you connect children with nature in educational or home settings? Again, how do you connect children with nature in educational or home settings? Remember to answer in the chat. Turtles Hitting Home is an inspirational nonfiction picture book for young conservationists about the real-life rescue of endangered sea turtles. Due to climate change, the waters around Cape Cod are no longer giving Kim's Ridley sea turtles the right signals to migrate south, causing young sea turtles to become cold-stunned and stranded on beaches. The authors Lisa Ketchum, Jacqueline Martin, and Phyllis Root use engaging real-world storytelling and vivid photo illustrations as they share the efforts to rescue the turtles, rehabilitate them, and then release them back into the world. The information is fact-checked by expert organizations, including the Wellfleet Bay Wildlife Sanctuary and the New England Aquarium for scientific accuracy and credibility. Next, we have an energetic, interactive nonfiction book called Who's Making All That Noise? Written again by mammologist Darren Lundy and illustrated by Erica J. Chen. Young readers get to play a guessing game through the animal kingdom based on sound. From the rap-tap-tap of woodpeckers to yak-yak-yammer of humans, noisemakers are sure to love this fun read-aloud book. Erica Chen's illustrations are bold and lively while clearly depicting each animal in its natural habitat. Additional facts are in the back matter, making it a useful resource for extended learning and encouraging curiosity about wildlife. Who's Making All That Noise is a great addition to Darren Lundy's Whose Is That series for those familiar with the picture books like Whose Egg Is That, Whose Footprint Is That, and Whose Poop Is That? This poetic love letter is written and illustrated by Isa Trapani to admire the friendly ruby-throated hummingbird, one of the smallest birds in the world. Isa Trapani is known for her extended nursery rhymes like the Itsy Bitsy Spider and Twinkle Twinkle, and brings that same charm and craft to this nonfiction subject, balancing storytelling with real hummingbird facts. Board Inside a Nest So Small is a rhyming picture book perfect for backyard birders as they learn about the life cycle of a hummingbird, from the tiniest egg all the way to the migrating south as the seasons change. The rhythmic language, packed with onomatopoeia and playful movement words, make this a perfect read aloud. The informative back matter satisfies curious readers with more details about hummingbird behavior, anatomy, and migration pattern. Born Inside a Nest So Small is both an introduction to the wonders of hummingbirds and a poetic celebration of quiet, joyful moments in nature. Fans of the Not a series, which includes books Not a Bean and Not a Monster, are in for a treat with the next in the series, Not a Dog. Written by Claudia Guadalupe and illustrated by Laura Gonzalez, young readers are introduced to the prairie dog this time around. They're taught about the life cycle of this fascinating and endangered species while learning about the environmental challenges it faces, especially from farming and habitat loss. Not a Dog will be simultaneously released with its Spanish version, No es un perro. And that concludes the Animals in Nature section. As a reminder, the giveaway question is, how do you connect children with nature in educational or home settings?
Awesome. Those look so good. I'm so excited for those. So next up, we have our family and relationships section. And my giveaway question for you is, so reading with my family made me fall in love with books and storytelling. But my question for you all is, what made you fall in love with books? Write it in the comment section, and we'll see who's got some good stories. All right. So, first up on this list, we've got Welcome Home, Esmeralda. And I am so excited to introduce you to Esmeralda. This is a tender and emotionally powerful picture book, perfect for kindergartners and first grade readers navigating change. Esmeralda has grown up in a military family, moving from base to base around the world, but she's never lived in the US. Now she's headed to San Antonio, a place where her extended family lives, yet it feels unfamiliar. Through the rhythms of music, the sway of dance, and the warm embrace of her abuela, Esmeralda begins to understand that home isn't just a place, it's the people who love you unconditionally. Published simultaneously in English and Spanish, this book explores big feelings around relocation and connection in a gentle and accessible way. Oh, sorry, there's lights. This book, it's especially impactful for students experiencing transitions due to socioeconomic reasons, immigration, divorce, or any kind of displacement. So, next up, let's take a journey to the misty mountains of China, where two young brothers spend a day working alongside their parents in a tea garden. From the moment the family climbs the mountain at sunrise to the evening trek back down to sell their harvest, this story immerses young readers in a day in the life that feels both distant yet deeply familiar. They'll hear the buzz of dragonflies and see bamboo partridges darting through the trees, all while experiencing the pride that comes from working side by side with loved ones. It's a beautifully crafted book for ages 5 to 9 that is an ideal choice for kids who are curious about nature, life cycles, and how different environments can shape everyday experiences. Whether you're building a unit on family dynamics, world cultures, or sensory rich rating, this beautiful title is a versatile and welcome addition to any classroom or library collection. Now, next up, we've got a joyful, sensory rich picture book that's perfect for preschoolers, kindergartners, and anyone who knows the magic of playing catch with someone you love. In this vibrant story, young Kiona and her mom spend the day playing catch with everything from apples to bubbles to balloons. Each item brings a new texture and sensation. Too big, too slippery, too soft. But no matter how tricky it gets, Kiona keeps trying, and mom keeps playing. It's a delightful celebration of sensory exploration and determination, wrapped up in the warmth of a parent child bond. This is an excellent read aloud for a Mother's Day story time and is a great pick for play themed lesson plans. And best of all, it ends with a sweet surprise that reminds us what children really want to hold on to: love. Very cute. Now, if you're like me and you thoroughly fell in love with the movie Coco, this next book is for you. I'm very excited. Popo the Sholo takes readers on an emotional and spiritual journey grounded in the indigenous Mexican understanding of death, specifically the 9 levels of Mictlan. At the heart of this story is Nana, a beloved grandmother surrounded by family, who begins her peaceful transition from life to death, guided by her favorite Xolo Quinto dog, Popo. In the end, it's Nana's family, and especially her grandchild, who find comfort in her memory and continue caring for Popo, her loyal companion. Now, this book is perfect for those wanting to support kids with big questions, particularly around grief, and is a treasured addition to collections aiming to reflect Indigenous Mexican voices and traditions. Available in both English and Spanish, Popo the Xolo is a deeply moving read that reminds us love never truly leaves us, it just simply transforms. Now, as a reminder, the giveaway question for this section is, what made you fall in love with books? I can already see a bunch of answers and they look amazing. So I think I am also doing new in a series, so you're stuck with me. So the giveaway question for this section is, what book would you make into a series if you could? I have so many answers to this question. I kind of want to write them in the chat too. So, first up, if you've ever read First Day Jitters aloud to a giggling classroom, get ready. Julie Dannenberg is back with Teacher Jitters, and Mrs. Hartwell is feeling very nervous. In this 11th installment, we flip the script. Mrs. Hartwell announces that she'll be out of the classroom for a day to attend a teacher workshop. But just like the students on their first day of school, she's anxious. Her class immediately steps in, offering the same kind of loving support she's given them. Through deep breathing and positive affirmations, they teach Mrs. Hartwell self regulation strategies, turning the tables in the most heartwarming way. Ideal for grades K through 3, this book is a standout read aloud for staff development days, back to school weeks, or anytime your classroom needs a gentle reminder that it's okay to feel anxious. We're all in this together. Now let's journey back to our favorite little reader, Lola. Lola's Moving Day, the 10th title in the beloved Lola Read series, is a warm, reassuring story perfect for ages 2 to 5. In this installment, Lola's mommy is expecting a new baby. Yay! And the family needs more space. As the moving process starts, they work together to pack using a clever color coding system, and Lola and her brother Leo pitch in by helping label and sort boxes. This builds social emotional learning by modeling community and kindness. Lola's family shares a goodbye meal with their upstairs neighbor and is welcomed by a thoughtful gesture from their new ones. It's so sweet. Perfect for units on moving, neighborhoods, or family programming around life transitions. Lola's Moving Day is a joyful story that helps young children feel seen and supported during times of change. Now we get to invite young readers back into the forest with fox, mouse, crow, and squirrel as they face an approaching autumn storm with 4 very different points of view. Some are worried, some are calm, and one is downright unconvinced that a storm is coming at all. I have plenty of those people in my family. As the animals listen to one another's feelings and express their concerns, readers will explore themes of compassion, friendship, and sharing, just in time for fall's focus on gratitude and togetherness. This book pairs beautifully with its companion title, In the Winter Woods, making it a wonderful option for libraries building thematic storytime collections. Now, get ready for intergalactic giggles and a whole lot of fun, because the aliens have landed and they do not want to go home. In this wildly funny and totally relatable picture book for ages 4 to 7, Adam Gustafson delivers a laugh out loud read aloud that will delight both kids and grown-ups. The alien kids are having the best time playing on Earth. So when their spaceship beams down and it's time to go, the excuses begin. We're not ready. We don't have our shoes on. Sound familiar to many of you? This book hilariously mirrors that universal moment when playtime has to end and no one wants to leave. Teachers will love how this story validates kids' emotions while providing plenty of opportunities for visual storytelling and imagination building. It's also great for emotional regulation, helping kids see that they're not alone in wanting just 5 more minutes. Next up, we dive back into the world of storytelling math with the newest installment of Luna and the Case of the Missing Mooncakes. Excuse me. This book blends an engaging mystery with age-appropriate math, all set during the vibrant Mid-Autumn Festival. Someone has been stealing mooncakes from the celebration. Could it be Kai? Benji? A grown-up? Young detectives Luna and Mina follow clues, eliminate suspects, and use logic to crack the case, all while celebrating Chinese American culture. This companion title to Lola's Yum Yum Dim Sum invites children to use math in the context of their everyday lives. It's not about counting or shapes, it's about reasoning, problem solving, and making connections, the kind of skills that build a foundation for future successes in math and beyond. Alrighty, so again, the giveaway question for our series section is, what book would you make into a series if you could? And again, I'm seeing some great answers.
All right, now it's my turn for treasured new classics. For the giveaway question, it's which classic from your childhood would you love to see reimagined for today's generation? Again, which classic from your childhood would you love to see reimagined for today's generation? Be sure to answer in the chat. In this fairy tale retelling, Cinderella doesn't end happily ever after in a palace with a prince, but with a daring escape towards liberation. CC Underground Railroad Cinderella is a powerful reimagining of a beloved fairy tale, one that sheds light on a difficult history while celebrating courage, hope, and freedom. CC tells the story of a young enslaved girl in Maryland and her escape towards a well-known historical figure at the end. Can you guess who she meets up with? Author Shauna Keller and acclaimed illustrator Laura Freeman bring heart, humanity, and historical depth to this unforgettable retelling. With parallels to the classic Cinderella story, CC draws readers in with familiar story beats before offering something far more meaningful. A heroine who frees herself with the help of, you probably guessed it, Harriet Tubman and the Underground Railroad. This book is a standout choice for Black History Month, discussions of slavery and resistance, and literature units that explore how traditional tales can be reinterpreted through new cultural and historical lenses. Kids are invited to become real-life treasure hunters in the Treasure Hunt: True Stories of Treasures Lost, Stolen, and Found. If you're familiar with How Does Chocolate Taste on Mount Everest, then you know Lisa Stewart Sharp writes strong, engaging books that appeals to the adventurers, and she doesn't disappoint with this next one. The Treasure Hunt is a thrilling nonfiction picture book about real treasure hunters, perfect for code crackers, map readers, and puzzle solvers. Using a dynamic You Are the Explorer voice, readers are taken across continents, diving into fascinating true stories of treasures that have been lost, stolen, and found. From Viking hoards in Scotland to sunken riches near Indonesia, this book is filled with fun facts, gripping tales, and hands-on challenges. What if you couldn't see the stars, but could still hear them? Meet Wanda Diaz-Merced, the trailblazing astrophysicist who turned a life-changing challenge into a groundbreaking way to study the universe. Wanda Hears the Stars is a powerful picture book biography that tells the inspiring true story of Wanda Diaz-Merced, a blind Puerto Rican scientist who refused to let her disability silence her dreams. Written by Amy S. Hansen with Wanda herself to help, and illustrated by Rocio Arreola Mendoza. When Wanda loses her sight in college, she didn't give up on astronomy. Instead, she developed a new way to experience data through sound, becoming a global voice for inclusion in science. With rich back matter and a message of unstoppable curiosity, Wanda Hears the Stars is more than a story. It's a call to make science accessible for every child. Bring this inspirational title to your classroom or library and let your students hear the stars for themselves. It will be released both in English and in Spanish. And that concludes our treasured new classics. Reminder, the giveaway question, which classic from your childhood would you love to see reimagined for today's generation? And I already see a lot of good suggestions.
They're so good in the chat. There are a lot of things in here that I just go, yes, and that, and that, and that. Please and thank you. All right. So for our older readers, we have a wide variety of summer reads for your middle grade and YA students and patrons this season, with tons of strong female protagonists. So while I introduce you to your soon-to-be new favorite females, I'd also love to know who your favorite middle grade or YA female readers are as our next giveaway question. One more time, who is your favorite middle grade or YA female protagonist? So new from Charlesbridge Teen, I'm excited to share Kate Levin's debut novel, Imposter. And what a cool cover, right? So allow me to introduce you to high school sophomore Cam, who has always had a passion and a prowess for all things techie. She's finally able to take that computer science elective, navigating her way through high school drama, gender stereotypes, and all those obnoxious high school dudes who already are convinced she doesn't belong just because she's a girl. Adding to the drama, and one of the many reasons you'll root for Cam, is that she and her quick-witted best friend Viv also managed to engineer their way onto the RoboSub team, the only two girls on their team at the national competition. Will Cam rise to the challenge and prove to everyone around her, including herself, that she belongs? This one's written for ages 12 and up, and it's perfect for fans of Girl Code or any preteen or teen with an interest in technology. I'm also personally confident YA readers will love Cam, her STEM story, and that her story will inspire girls in science to pursue classes, careers, and quite frankly, spaces that others believe they should have no part in. I also have to tell you that I love that Alicia Gavin, the Director of Communications and Marketing at RoboNation, had this to say about Kate's courageous story. Imposter is, quote, a celebration of everything we aim to foster through our programs: curiosity, creativity, collaboration, and the courage to dream big. I just love that. All right. So from our Charlesbridge move, let's talk about this one first. From our Charlesbridge movement print as well. This one's for fans of Sharon Draper, and Out of My Mind comes a heartfelt novel for ages 10 and up about, there's my lights too here, about sibling relationships, family struggles, disability, and getting what you want. Also part of the Zuzu Secret. 12-year-old Josie Sherman is an animal lover and inspiring vet, so it comes as no surprise that she has rescued a bearded dragon lizard. Unfortunately for Josie, her family has a strict no pets rule because Abe, her brother, has Prader-Willi syndrome, which restricts his independence, and if they're being honest, Josie's life too. Consequently, she's forced to hide Zuzu, her new lizard, in her bedroom. Told in alternating chapters from Josie and Abe's points of view, the Zuzu Secret explores the challenge of balancing independence with deception. Josie and Abe both have things to learn about being truthful with themselves and with the people they love, especially in their own family. Now, Francisco X. Stork, author of Marcello in the Real World, says, quote, the Zuzu Secret is much more than a book about a young person with a disability. It is a realistic, warm, beautifully told story of growing love and responsibility between sister and brother. All right. And from our Charlesbridge Moves imprints, Monsters of Fife, Sea Dragons is the start of a planned 3-book series with none other than children's lit heavyweight Jane Yolen penning it. Perfect for 8 to 11-year-old fans of Nevermore and Lockwood and Company. The Monsters of Fife series invites readers to travel back in time to another part of the world in need of monster hunting. Now, our story is set in 1880s Scotland, where we're introduced to Kat Douglas and her classmates as they battle monsters in their local RNA, or Royal and Ancient chapter, for those of you not familiar with monster hunting lingo, an ancient monster hunting society. This one is historical fantasy with a graphic novel feel, with many of the 4-color illustrations done in panels. Now, while we can't go so far as to say it's a graphic novel, it does certainly offer a ton of graphic novel elements. And like all Charlesbridge Moves titles, this one is designed to be a solid option for reluctant readers, particularly with its small page count, standing at only 128 pages, and its utilization of lots of visual elements. All right, that middle grade and YA giveaway question here one more time before we get to our star speaker. Who is your favorite middle grade or YA female protagonist? Once again, who is your favorite middle grade or YA female protagonist? All right, so switching gears here, I'm pleased to welcome to our preview Valerie Bowling. Valerie is an award-winning educator with more than 30 years of experience and the author of many children's books, including this fall's A Flea for Justice, a historical and political picture book biography for 6 to 9-year-olds about Black perseverance. Now, Marian Wright Edelman is a flea for justice. Just like her hero, Sojourner Truth, Marian pushes for change even when it's uncomfortable. She makes people itch, just like a flea. Now, A Flea for Justice, if I may be so bold, is an inspiring read for future activists and change makers, and it's set to hit shelves September 16th. And I'm pleased to welcome Valerie to our digital stage. Hi, Valerie.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How about yourself?
I'm fine, thanks, Meg.
Oh, I love it. So I'm going to say one more thing here, and then I'm going to get out of your way and listen. We are also hoping to have time for questions for Valerie at the end of our time together today. So please do keep your questions coming in the chat, and Valerie will be sure to shout them out to you as they come through. So with that, thank you again for joining us this Teacher Appreciation Week, as we truly appreciate authors and educators like yourself. Now, Valerie, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. I want to start out by shouting out teachers. So happy Teacher Appreciation Week. I certainly appreciate all that you do. And in case you don't know, I am one of you, even though I officially left my teaching position 2 years ago after 30 years. So that I could pursue my author career full time, I still consider myself a teacher. So thank you all for tuning in today. And of course, I want to thank Charlesbridge for this wonderful opportunity to spend a bit of time with you this afternoon. So I don't want to take too much time because I want to give you the opportunity to ask questions if you have them. But I want to start by showing you the book. I don't know how well you can see it here. Yes, and we have a slide of it as well. And the illustrator, I want to give a shout out to the illustrator, Tamika Grooms. You can see what a beautiful job she has done. And our editor, Karen Boss. So Meg already told you a bit about A Flea for Justice, so I won't spend time summarizing or giving a synopsis of the story, but I did want to speak a bit about my inspiration, because I know often, readers are interested in where did your inspiration come from. So my first books are books about joy and movement, and they're written in short rhyming text. And I decided I like to challenge myself and write different genres. And so I said, I'd like to try nonfiction, because at that point, all of my books were fiction. I'd like to write something in prose, not necessarily in rhyme. And it would be great to write a story about someone that many people don't know about, but should know about. And as a Black woman, I knew that I wanted to write about a Black woman. And so as I was thinking about different people I could write about, Marion Wright Edelman seemed like the perfect choice. A friend of mine had given me a book that she'd written when I graduated from grad school. And I also know she's such a champion for children. And I'm passionate about children as well. So that's how I decided to focus my energies on finding out more about her. And I watched many videos. She speaks a lot at commencement. She's the commencement speaker at a lot of colleges, and I read more of her books, and I just, became so interested in her. So that's really how I came to write a story about her. So in terms of how you might use this story in class, I think first of all, it's always important to activate students' knowledge before beginning to read a text. So you might want to do some talking about segregation, about, how things aren't always equal, and particularly at a time in our country, there were a number of inequalities. You might even want to discuss some of the inequalities that still exist today. Before reading, it's always good to ask students to hold up the cover and ask them what they think is happening here. And have they seen a picture like this before? Does this remind them of anything else? And we do have, as you can see, an educator's guide and some activities that go with it. So that is also a wonderful complement to the book. So those are some things to do before you even begin reading. And then as you read, you can ask students, if they're seeing more about that relates to the cover. Certainly the title, that's another thing to discuss before you begin reading. A Flea for Justice, what does that mean? And then, or what do you think it means? And then as students are reading, you can ask them, oh, do you know now what that means? Where is it explained in the book? And what are the examples of Marion being a flea for justice? So those are some things you can do while reading. And then after reading, it can be good to ask students how they might be fleas for justice. You can ask them to think about causes and issues that are important to them and how they might share that information with others, how they might fight for that information. How they might, stand up for those causes. And so you could have them maybe write letters, or you could perhaps even have them design a poster or a sign. So it could be something that is visual as well, or instead of. And another thing is that there are quotes throughout the book from Marion Wright Edelman herself. So you could also maybe ask students to pick their favorite quote and why it is their favorite and how it connects to them, or why that quote resonates with them. And of course, always at the end of a book, and you'll have the chance to ask some of your questions soon, you always want to give students the opportunity to ask more questions and to do further research. And in the Educator's Guide, there is information that there are resources there and information that will help you as you help your students find out more about Mrs. Edelman, and also just about other change makers and people who have helped our country become a better place. And I think that's what I will share for now.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Valerie. We do have some questions kind of floating around in here. So one of them we've got is, did you come up with the analogy of her being a flea?
Oh, so that is explained in the book. I did not come up with the analogy. That is attributed to, in terms of a flea for justice, I guess I did come up with that. But Sojourner Truth, who is a role model of Mrs. Edelman's, there's a story that you'll hear in the book, I won't give it away, but where there's a connection to a flea. And so that was the inspiration to talk about being a flea for justice. But it's really, you'll understand it more with the connection to Sojourner Truth. There was an experience she had.
That's amazing. And such a fantastic idea for a story. And
you.
Speaking of more stories, we have a question. Do you have more people in mind for books you'd like to write about?
I do. In fact, I have one that is currently on submission, but unfortunately it hasn't sold yet. So fingers crossed.
Absolutely. Fingers crossed. That sounds awesome. It's so exciting. And we're seeing a lot of love for the Educator's Guide and just all of your fantastic ideas that you've listed, including the poster and the letters. So thank you so much for some of those really amazing ideas.
You're welcome. And I do want to say, I did not prepare the Educator's Guide. I was allowed input, which I appreciate, but Colette at Charlesbridge put this together, and I think it's really beautiful. And I'm sure that teachers are going to enjoy, you're going to enjoy using it with your students. And of course, you'll have your own ideas, and your students will have ideas as well.
Absolutely. We've got a couple more questions.
Sure.
We've got, what is the number one thing that you hope readers take away from this book?
Oh my goodness, that's a great one. I think I want children to know, even though it may sound like a cliche, but that they can make a difference and that their voices matter. I want them to feel empowered. I want them, if they, have feelings about something, to be able to speak up about that. If they, can become little activists and start writing letters to politicians, that's great. If they, even now there are a number of protests and marches, they might want to join those. They might want to think about, even in their community, in their school, how can they make change if they have an idea about something. So I think that would be what I'd want them to take away.
Yeah, getting involved is so important. I love that. We've got another one. Was there anything you learned while writing this that surprised you?
I'd have to think about that. I mean, one of the things is this book, I sold this book in 2022, or I don't even remember if it was 2022 or 2020. Yes, it was 2022. And so that means I wrote it even before that. So it's hard to think back to exactly what surprised me. So I'm not coming up with an answer immediately. I'm sure there is something that did surprise me because Mrs. Edelman has just lived such an incredible life. I mean, one of the things is that often when I think of a commencement speaker, I know that, they may speak at more than one college. But I think as I was doing research, I realized how many commencement addresses she'd given. I don't remember the exact number, but she has given so many speeches and talks and presentations, just not only at colleges, but in other spaces as well. And so that to me was quite impressive. And it shows that there's quite a respect for her and quite a demand for her to share her experiences and to inspire audiences.
Absolutely. What a perfect choice for a graduating class to who to hear from graduating class, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh my gosh. Well, Valerie, thank you so much for joining us today. We so very much appreciate it and are so excited for the release of A Flea for Justice, which comes out on September 19th, just for everybody's knowledge. And just thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure to be here with you. As I said, thanks Charlesbridge team for inviting me, and thanks teachers for showing up, and happy Teacher Appreciation Week. And I also noticed a couple of my friends in the audience as well. So thank you, Candelaria and Marilyn and Tracy, for being here as well.
Awesome. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you, everybody. Again, happy Teacher Appreciation Week. We are so thrilled that you were able to join us for the preview of our summer 2025 Charlesbridge list. Thank you so much for participating in the chat and giveaways. We will be providing a recording of this after this event. If you are a giveaway winner and haven't heard from us in 24 hours, please email us at trademarketing@charlesbridge.com. Thank you all again. Our team here is always excited to bring new, fun, and informative books to your shelves. And as always, we'd welcome your thoughts and would love to hear from you. So feel free to find us on TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook, or to drop us a line at charlesbridge.com. Thanks, everybody.